In this review, we are going to be taking a look at the Robot Force knockoff Devastator. Stay tuned. Hello everyone to Kyle's Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Robot Force knockoff or third-party Devastator. I saw this was also released by Wayjane, which I thought was neat. So yeah, I got this for a gift. A little surprise gift, which I really like this, to be completely honest. I really think it's a cool little set if you don't have the Combiner Wars Devastator, which I do, and we're going to be comparing the Combiner Wars Devastator to this Devastator. Now, before we get into the Devastator, we're going to take a look at the individual robots, the components of Devastator. Now, starting off first, we're going to be taking a look at Scrapper. Scrapper is the excavator vehicle that we all know and love. He has a hinge joint at the shovel, or the digger, whatever you want to call it. You know, hinge joint. Wheels do roll. These are a little bit stiff, and I kind of wish the hubcaps were painted, but for this being a gift and me not paying nothing for it, it's not that bad. And for a knockoff or a third-party figure, it ain't that bad either. He does have some nice details, as you can see. Screws, but this does not tab that well together. I will show that off more in combined mode. And he does have, these all do have die cast. His chest is completely die cast. I'm using the cold touch technique, and you can, like, yeah, I mean, it looks die-cast too, feels die-cast. I mean, it gives him some weight. So yeah, let's make him a robot. So, start out with, I like to take the shovel, bring it back, and fold it up against his back like so. Bring the digger back so it is like this. This will also be for combined mode. I will show that off later. So, what I normally do is come to the shoulders, bring them out, and bring them down, and just move the elbows where the fists are facing forward. And same thing on the other side. Then you want to come back here, flip out the legs, like so. Turn them around. Untab the legs from one another, and then you can just put the feet in place. They are on a slider joint, so you just want to slide them into place. Then you want to bring down his torso, and that will reveal his head. And here is Scrapper in his robot mode. Now, I do gotta say, I wish his head wasn't black, but to be honest, I can do that myself since I'm a customizer. And I think his head's also die-cast, but I could be wrong. He does have really good articulation for his size. He has elbows, which something the Combiner Wars didn't have. You know, ball joints, so he has basic movement, really. Kick out that much, kick up much that forward, full 360, and swivel joint at the elbow. And that's pretty much it. I mean, he has a mushroom peg, and a little bit over, like, basically the full degree of motion since his, due to transformation. So yeah, there is Scrapper. These guys did come with guns. Let me grab them all real quick. So they all come with one of their guns. Hook came with two. I like to give him this rifle because I think it will suit him. So yeah, these aren't the basic millimeter ports for regular Transformers. These are a bit smaller actually. But I don't really have an issue with them because at least all the Constructicons can hold a gun. So that is Scrapper. Moving on to the other leg of Devastator, Mixmaster. Mixmaster is a bit weird. The wheels are really small, and he does look a bit meh in robot mode. So yeah, his drum can rotate. Of course, rolling wheels, they're just really tiny. So yeah. His cab can turn, but for the ankle pivot for Devastator, which is a bit weird because Scrapper does not have an ankle pivot. I will show that off more in combined mode. So to transform him to robot mode, what you want to do is flip out the legs like so. Then he has little stubby toes that you just want to get in there and flip out. Very weird feet. Then you want to untab the two, which can be cause a lot of force. Then you want to untab the arms and bring them down like so. Same thing with the other side. And then he has guns on his head like the original. Now, he is a bit weird looking, to be completely honest. He has a big beefy torso and then this weird like mixing drum just up, and yeah. Not a big fan of it. You can give him a gun. All these guys have the same amount as articulation. None of their heads can rotate besides one. So yeah. These all, you know, he can stand well, even with the weird toes. So Mixmaster is one of the shorter ones. Scrapper is one of the taller ones, which I think is weird because they're both legs, but oh well. Moving on to the next figure. Long Haul. Long Haul, we all know and love him as a dump truck. So, yeah. I do like these guys. They do capture a good amount of detail. And I think, you know, the die cast, especially on the front of him, gives him a good amount of weight. I just wish these guys were a bit taller. I will show that off in a comparison. So obviously, wheels rotate. They're just a bit stiff. So now let's get into robot mode. What I like to do first is take this, bring these down. Then what you want to do is untab that like so. Bring out the legs. Then you can untab the legs from one another and bring down the wheels. Unfold the crotch plate like so. Tab in the waist like that. Unfold the arms out like so. Then what you want to do is bring up the head and rotate it around. Now, his head's very stiff, and I've had him for a couple days now, so yeah. That'll resolve on itself. And here's Long Haul in his robot mode. Now, Long Haul looks a bit weird, to be completely honest, especially the head. I wish they went with a silver head instead of a completely black one. But I'm not complaining. You can see there's die cast right here. And that's about it for him. He has the same articulation as the others. No waist. The only different articulation he has is that the head is on a ball joint. And I like to give him a bigger gun since he's the big guy. So, yeah. There is Long Haul. Now, moving on, we are going to go with Hook. Hook is a crane, obviously. Articulation, you know, the crane can have some hinges, and yeah. Smaller wheels, but they don't look as awkward as they did on Mixmaster. Detailing sculpting on all these guys is pretty good. I mean, they all have some die cast in them too. So yeah. Now let's get down to transformation. So what I like to do is fold up the hook crane. Then I like to flip out the feet. If I can get it, there we go. Like so. Untab the legs. And then you can just untab the arms from here, because they tab in. Bring the arms down and swivel them to make them go to the front. Sometimes these guys do hold together a little bit tightly, but I think that's just due to the fact that they're new. And here we have Hook in his robot mode. Now Hook is one of the taller ones, the same thing with Scrapper and Long Haul. The rest are a bit short. Hook is the one that came with 2 guns, but I'm just going to give him a rifle. There we go. So, here's Hook. Chest and head, I'm pretty sure, are all die cast. And you can see the little Devastator head poking through the hole in the chest, which I wish that wasn't there, but you know, it's whatever. Painting and sculpting is pretty well done on these figures. I do gotta say that. Moving on, we're gonna go with Scrapper. or Scavenger, not Scrapper. Sorry. Scavenger can actually go do a full 360, and this is quite articulated. You know, you can rise and bucket. The bucket is die-cast, complete die-cast, which I really like because it gives it some weight and everything too. So yeah, I mean, he has some good articulation. Treads do not move. There's not even rolling wheels, which sucks, but I mean, there's no paint to really scrape off of the bottom, so I'm not complaining. Yes, I wish there was wheels at least, but hey, this is probably a cheaper toy figure. So, let's get down to transformation. Untab the legs, like so. Bring them down, like that. Then you want to move the crotch up and forward. Then you want to work on the upper body. You want to bring down the arms. Note, before you do that, you want to rotate this all around. There you go. Then you want to bring up the arms, like so. Bring that down. This arm transforms a little bit differently to fill out that gap. If I can get it out. These toys are quite tight. And bring that out like so. And then you can bring out the head. His head is quite weird, but before you bring the shovel down completely, just completely finish up his crotch area. Bring down the shovel, rotate the legs how they're supposed to be, and flip out the feet. And here is Scavenger in his robot mode. Out of all of them, I think his design for him is probably the weakest for me, just due to the giant gaps. The face is quite weird. So yeah. The legs are a bit and they're hollow, but yeah. You can give him a gun. I just give him a random gun, really. And there you go. There is Scavenger. Yes, he has the same articulation as everyone else. All these guys literally have the same amount as articulation as the others. And best for last, Bone Crusher, my favorite Constructicon. Articulation, the shovel thing can move up and down, but that's really due to transformation with any other Bone Crusher. So yeah, once again, no rolling wheels, just black plain treads. So get them in the robot mode. Want to flip up the head. Arms are weird, so bring them out and then rotate them down and then rotate the elbows facing the front. Same thing with the other side. Bring them out, rotate them down, elbow. Then you want to start bringing up the chest, because when you unpeg the legs and move the crotch forward, the entire chest is also going to move forward, and you're going to want that to be up to there. And same thing what Scavenger did with his legs, just pull them out, bring these down. And here you have Bone Crusher in his robot mode. I gotta say, I mean, he's pretty okay. I don't really like the gaps in his arms that much, and I think his chest is a bit big, but for figures these small, I'm gonna, not do them as harshly, because they do the job that they need to do. So let me put the rest of the Constructicons in the background, the way I had them in their vehicle modes, almost. And the other two guns can go to Bone Crusher. So you have this gun, which is more of a rifle, which can also, then see this, has a peg right here. I will show what you can do with that peg when we get to combined mode. And you can also give him another gun, like so. Now, comparison time. Let me do this to where, so these is basically the figure's heights. Scrapper and Bone Crusher are the two heights that the set mainly goes with. Throwing 30s Legends Optimus Prime. Here he is with Transformers Earthrise Smokescreen. Obviously, Smokescreen's a bit taller. And here he is with Netflix Siege Megatron. So honestly, these guys are about deluxe sized, in between deluxe and legend, which is about as how tall deluxes are nowadays. And if you don't have any of those figures, here he is with a soda can. So yeah. Now, let's get down to combine mode. Now, I'm going to start from the bottom to the top. We are going to go with these guys, Scrapper and Mixmaster. Take the guns out of the hands, like so, and move them to the side. So we're going to start with Mixmaster. Pull up the guns. Basically, you're just transforming these guys back into vehicle mode, essentially. Flip up the toes, like so. Bring it, tab the cab section together. Didn't mean to move the camera. After that, you want to bring the cab section up into place, like so. And then you want to bring the arms back up and tab that back in, like so. Now he's in vehicle mode. Now to give him the combine mode, you just hinge this forward, and here you have Devastator's leg. Now for Scrapper, not Scavenger, sorry. It's literally just vehicle mode with this like that. So let's get him into vehicle mode. Or combine mode, sorry. You want to rotate it so the hands will peg into here. They will peg into one another, like so. Sorry about that cut, my camera died. So, plug this in right here. Same thing with this. Like so. Tab that together. And that's how you get his arms. After you get his arms situated, you want to tab these together. Like so. Then you can just move this forward all together. Bring it forward like so. Sorry, it is quite stiff. There we go. And then you want to fold this down like so. And you want to get it over the crotch plate. There we go. Here you have that. And you want to split this apart a little bit so Long Haul can tab on to Scrapper. So there are the legs. Now let's get on to Long Haul. Remove the gun. Like so. For the most stable combination, I recommend rotating his head around and flipping it back. Now with Long Haul and Hook, they don't really transform the vehicle mode. It's like a combination of robot mode and vehicle mode. Kind of weird, but yeah. So you want to have this facing that so it will tab in, like so. Bring this down. Same thing with this side. Tab this together. Bring this down. Make sure these fold in together. Flip out the crotch. Adjust the legs like so. And you want to come back here, unfold the wheels, and grab the combining ports. They're somewhat tight. And I do like how this figure actually is tight and not loose. Nothing really feels too loose on any of the figures. Sometimes things are a bit too tight. No, I'm not being weak because I actually do stuff. It's just I'm afraid of breaking these. Same thing with the other side. This is a lot easier, like so. And now that you got him in his combine mode, there's a peg and a hole. Combine that on there. And there's an opening that the slot's going to have to go into. And then you want to try and close that onto his legs. Like so. Now, once we got that, let's go on to hook. Take out hook's gun. And this is basically like vehicle mode, somewhat. Not just like, but somewhat. Fold up the legs, but do not tab them together. Then with the arms, you want to move this one forward. Bring this down and position it like that. With this one, you want to have it like this. I'll show you in a minute. Then these hinge forward, but first you want to move this out of the way and get Devastator's head out. Then you want to hinge these forward like so. Tab them into these little tabs right here. And then you can bring out the Devastator chest piece. And I will combine that right now, actually. Now, for combining these tabs will go in this hole. This tab will go up to that one, and this hole will go into that. What I normally like to do first is tab these in first, so move the chest plate out of the way. You can just angle it up since it's the crane. And just press down on these first. Like so. And then these will tab in right here. Flip them around. Bring down the chest plate. And it will tab into Devastator. Now, let's move on to Scavenger, the right arm. So, just remove his gun. Like so. And yeah, this is basically just transforming him back into a vehicle mode, but I like to leave the arm up that you normally would fold down for vehicle mode. I just think it looks better and situates better. Bring this up. So I like to rotate this and rotate this down. Bring down the arm piece. Now for this, I do recommend positioning this at an angle, because with an angle it allows for more elbow movement. But the normal way, I'll show you with this leg, is you would normally have it like this, but that would get in the way of the elbow articulation. So I normally have it like this. Flip out the combine port. These are made of die cast, so they are tight at first until they get better. Now, there's stabs right here. This is a notch, so obviously, stab that right into there. Bone Crusher is pretty much the same thing. I'm taking out his guns real quick. So with Bone Crusher, you now flip this down, flip that down, flip up the legs like so. Rotate, rotate. Bring this back, fold this out like so. That out now. Just fold these in just like the vehicle mode. Put these in together like so. Sorry about the lighting, I can't really do anything about that. And you basically just want to press these together as much as possible because they don't really tab. Bring this down. Obviously, it's going to be just like Scavenger, just a little bit different. Obviously, make sure everything's rotated properly. And then bring up the digger part. Ooh. And now, same thing with the connection piece. Connect that in. And now, let's bring in the hands. Now, the hands do have some articulation. It's like Masterpiece. Index finger, and then 3 rust connected, and a ball jointed thumb. These literally just peg into here. Like so. Same thing with the other side. And then you rotate Devastator's head around, just like so. Now here we have Devastator in his full combined mode. And I really do like this guy. I think he is a replacement for your Combiner Wars Devastator. He is nearly in scale with Combiner Wars Combiners. Before we get into that, I'm going to cover articulation. Ball jointed head. He can look up that much, look down that much. Full 360. Arms, full 360. Move out that much. Scavenger is about the same. Elbow swivel, about 90 degrees with the treads moved up. He has a wrist swivel. You saw the hand articulation. Sadly, no waist. You can move these pads out of the way. You can kick forward that much. Kick backward that much. You can use long hauls and knees if you wanted to for extra articulation. And then the hinge is about that far on both the legs for the knees, which sucks, but that's why you got another hinge up there, I'm assuming. Mixmaster does have an ankle pivot, but Scavenger does not for some reason. I do not know why. So yeah. Now, the gun is just like Masterpiece. There's two tabs, and there is a tab in there. So you literally just tab the gun into the hand, and you wrap the fingers around it, and there you go. Devastator now has a gun. For comparison, here he is with Transformers Combiner Wars Defensor with the normal hands and feet. As you can see, he is just a tad bit shorter than the actual Combiner Wars stuff. Obviously, this is about how big normal or tall Combiner Wars combiners are with the Combiner Wars hands and feet. So, there's that. And here he is with the Transformers Combiner Wars Devastator. Now, obviously, these guys are way smaller than the actual Devastator, because this is about how big of a difference that is. So yeah. Now, these figures are a really good set. If you can't find Combiner Wars Devastator and you want a Devastator that's about as tall as Defensor or any other Combiner Wars combiners, I highly recommend getting them. I think they're on Amazon. I'm not sure. It is the Robot Forces Constructicons. I think they all come in a set. They all came in a box like this. Obviously, this is Bone Crushers. He was called Hades because they can't use Bone Crusher. But, you know. If you guys like this review, like, subscribe, comment. Obviously, it's different from my regular stuff, so sorry if it was boring.